feel like knowing that you're being dragged into a musical feud between these two?
I don't feel. It is what it is. I'm living my life.
Have you heard
Working, paying my bills, taking time for myself, and that's all that matters. Whatever else is going on, I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Have you heard the music yet?
Happy and peaceful life. That's all I want.
All right. Have you heard the music yet? You haven't heard it?
No.
Are you curious? Can I pull it up for you?
No! I just don't want any parts. I just want peace and happiness. I don't want to work and cry.
How do you feel like knowing that you're being dragged into a musical feud between these two?
I don't feel. It is what it is. I'm living my life.
Have you heard
Working, paying my bills, taking time for myself, and that's all that matters. Whatever else is going on, I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Have you heard the music yet?
Happy and peaceful life. That's all I want.
All right. Have you heard the music yet? You haven't heard it?
No.
Are you curious? Can I pull it up for you?
No! I just don't want any parts. I just want peace and happiness. I don't want to work and cry.
Going on. Tell me what y'all doing, man. Y'all tap in the comment. Let me know what y'all got going on. I'll just be looking at what I got going on. Feel me? What y'all got going on? What's up, little Lele? I'm finna drop this shit.
Shred. Quavo talking like he a thug, nigga. You a bitch with dread. Can't wait to see the day that you back up all of that shit you said.
Hold up, wait a minute. So Quavo actually likes this song, man. This is crazy, man. You gotta drop a like right now, man.
What's all that bullshit you talking? You ain't no huncho, nigga. You the weakest link out of your clique. Let's keep it a hundo, nigga.
Man, at this point, man, I'm reacting to this song as well, man. This is crazy, man. Quavo, man, be having the best time of his life.
You fuck my ex-hoe, that's cool. I don't give no fuck, little nigga. Cause I fucked your ex when you was still with a bitch. I'm up, little nigga.
Man, this is over, man. This is over, man. Chris Brown destroyed Quavo, man. It's no need to continue, man. There's no need to continue, man. Like, Quavo gotta find something really, really, really strong, man.
Salute, squad, and I beg to differ. Chris went off, but I'm a rapper, I'm a musician, and when we judging these battles, guys, we got to break it all the way down because character, style, swag, that's involved. That counts. That counts, guys. Yeah, Chris Brown, he dropped hard. But guys, when you look deep into why he went so hard, it got to make sense. It got to make sense. So to me, in my opinion, I think this one is entertainment. It ain't no winner. Ain't no winner in this, guys. But let's get on into why I say, guys. Let's break it down. You know how we do. So let's unpack this. How y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling, bruh, squad? Yo, it's been a hell of a week, right? They said that the light-skinned guys are winning. Salute to Chris Brown, Drake. Man. I tell you, man. But guys, for those of you that just now coming late to class, this is the female that Chris Brown going so hard for.
How do you feel like knowing that you're being dragged into a musical feud between these two?
I don't feel. It is what it is. I'm living my life.
Have you heard
Working, paying my bills, taking time for myself, and that's all that matters. Whatever else is going on, I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Have you heard the music yet?
Happy and peaceful life. That's all I want.
All right. Have you heard the music yet? You haven't heard it?
No.
Are you curious? Can I pull it up for you?
No! I just don't want any parts. I just want peace and happiness. I don't want to work and cry.
All right, guys. So let's take it to the beginning. Let's go back to the start, guys. Let's take it from the top.
In the early 2000s, a kid from Virginia named Christopher Maurice Brown, better known as Chris Brown, would take an interest in becoming a musical artist. In 2002, at the age of just 13, Chris Brown would be discovered by Hit Mission Records. After Puffy refused to sign Chris Brown to Bad Boy, he would begin working on demos. A couple years later, in 2004, Chris Brown would sign to Jive Records and begin working on his debut album. The next year, on November 29th, 2005, Chris Brown.
Now I know Puff got to be kicking himself. Puff passed up on a couple of gems now. He passed up on Mobb Deep. He passed up on Chris Brown.
Brown dropped his self-titled debut studio album, which was an instant success, selling 154,000 copies first week, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard. After this, Chris Brown would go on to have a very successful yet controversial career throughout the 2000s and the early 2010s. In the early 2010s, an Atlanta-based rap group called Polo Club was formed by rapper Quavo along with Takeoff and Offset. Eventually, they decided to change the group name to Migos. In the early 2010s is when Migos would begin dropping mixtapes such as Jug Season, No Label, and YRN. In 2013 is where Migos would blow up, dropping their track Versace on July 18th, 2013. The biggest rapper in the world at the time, Drake, would remix this track, giving it insane exposure. After that, it was clear that Migos was one of the hottest up-and-coming rap groups. Migos would sign with Quality Control Music and 300 Entertainment in 2015 to drop their debut studio album, Young Rich Nation, on July 31st, 2015.
That boy Drake all over the place, man. That boy Drake, his fingerprints all over a lot of these hits, these new style hits, man. You can't front on him for that. You can't front on him.
On this album was a track called Just for Tonight, featuring Chris Brown. This is when Quavo and Chris Brown would begin working on music together. After this, in 2016, is when Quavo would begin dropping music as a solo artist. On April 29th, 2016, Chris Brown dropped a track called Whippin' featuring Quavo and Smoke Boys. The next year, on January 27th, 2017, Migos dropped their album.
Wagwan.
Hi
I
guys,
bet you
I am
he is,
Samantha.
yo. CeeLo, you on point, yo. Anybody signed to Puff would have been got by now, yo. So, and with Chris Brown energy, shit, that's a ticking time bomb, yo. Ticking time bomb. Chris Brown would have been gone by now.
Culture, and Chris Brown actually helped Migos promote the album. It seemed as if Chris Brown and Migos had a really good relationship, but in 2017 is when things would take a turn for the worse. Let's backtrack to 2011. Chris Brown began dating Karuchi Tran, who was a stylist for celebrities at the time, so that's how the two met. Eventually, Karuchi would become an actress, but in late 2014, Chris Brown and Karuchi would split up after Brown allegedly abused her.
Now that's crazy, guys. If you see the common pattern in these hip hop beefs, all these guys start out as friends, and all it take is a fish hole to divide the friendship, yo. That's all these beefs is over, yo. From Future versus Drake, Future versus this one, Drake versus that one. Is all over a female, bruh. And when we put the red pill lens to that, we know that's a no-no. That's why y'all can bump to the Chris Brown song, but he not the winner. He definitely not the winner. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna call him a loser because the song was better than what Quavo attempted to do, but that guy is not a winner. CB is not a winner.
In February 2017, it was reported that Karuchi got a 5-year restraining order on Chris Brown after he allegedly threatened her life when he demanded her to return diamond rings that he gifted her, to which she refused. Tran alleged.
Crazy, yo. So now you in there and giving and roughing chicks up, man. What you say, CeeLo? He chasing the doo-doo. And we all know what the doo-doo is.
Got a big old booty, and everybody says, she's a fine booty. The booty is where the doo-doo is, boy. Put there by God, that's the garbage can. So how why you get so messed up with this white boy? You think the bigger the booty, the finer it is. That's like going to Kmart. You see a big old garbage can, that's the filth. And now we can convince her she wants switching that big old booty and all of that. It ain't nothing but doo-doo in there.
In court that Brown texted her violent threats such as, "I can get my money back and I'm tired of playing games. I will beat the shit out of you. I promise I will make your life hell." Now, many people speculate that this was just a PR stunt done by Karuchi and her manager. One Reddit user pointed this out, saying, "They talking about Karuchi. I don't know why they believe this. Her manager set that shit up to say this about him." She even did an interview and her manager kept talking over her. And
Manage what? What is her manager manage? What is this woman? Guys, fill me in. Put in the chat, guys. What is her job title? What is she known for? What does she do? She a singer? Is this woman a singer? Is she an athlete? Like what is she? She's a gymnast? Well, put it in the chat, guys. What is this woman? Why do she have a manager? You know what I mean?
you could tell she was frustrated visibly. Also, her manager told her to give Chris her location, and when he pulled up, she was instructed to act like she didn't know what he was talking about, and now the internet got believing they was toxic. If Chris really hit the girl, she would have been left him and put the papers on him before anyone even knew about royalty back in 2015. As you could tell, Chris Brown and Karuchi have a terrible rough past. Now, you're probably asking what this has to do with Quavo. In 2017, Quavo and Karuchi actually started secretly dating, but Chris Brown didn't know at the time. On March 24th, 2017, Chris Brown sat down with Desiree Thompson for an interview with Billboard, and during the interview, Chris Brown would give a huge shout out to Migos and praise them, saying, in quotes, "I just want to shout out y'all my real friends and brothers. I bought your album 3 times. I spent my own money and shit. I'm proud of you dudes. I will never hate on you guys." Now, these comments didn't age well at all, considering the fact that Quavo was dating Chris Brown's ex behind his back. Many speculate that the relationship of Quavo and Karuchi was the reason for the restraining order to allow them to date without an issue. It wouldn't be long until Quavo and Karuchi's relationship would go public when they were spotted together on multiple occasions. Now, of course, Chris Brown was not going to be happy with this, being that he considered Quavo as a brother and a good friend, so this is when the beef would officially begin. That summer, this would all come to a spearhead on June 25th, 2000.
Now y'all let me know on some G joint squad, Bread Squad. Is Quavo wrong? Is Quavo wrong, guys? It's no longer Chris Brown's girl, but you knew Chris Brown was with her, and it's many other girls out there. Is Quavo wrong in your opinion, or is Chris Brown overreacting? What y'all think, guys? Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if Chris Brown is overreacting, and put a 2 in the chat if Quavo not wrong. And don't forget to hit that like button. It's in the top 3 buttons in the top right part of your screen, guys.
2017, the BET Awards was held at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. Chris Brown and Migos were all in attendance and actually had performances that night. After the show, there was an after party nearby the Microsoft Theater, which Chris Brown and Migos both attended, along with other artists. This is when Quavo and Chris Brown would get into an altercation when a member of Chris Brown's entourage allegedly pushed Quavo, which led to Future and DJ Khaled being in the middle of the altercation. Eventually, a bunch of Migos crew members surrounded Chris Brown's vehicle, but he left untouched.
Niggas out here tripping. Migos out to the chopper with Chris Brown.
When you finagle your way into the Migos fight, they was fighting somebody, security, and you stay back so I don't get beat up and kicked out.
Stay over here fighting. The Migos is right here. Oh my God. Yo, don't entertain this shit.
The next day, TMZ interviewed Quavo, asking him about the altercation with Chris Brown, to which Quavo said that it was all about money and haters, so he's basically saying that Chris Brown is hating on him for dating his ex.
Everyone wants to know what happened at the BET Awards, a big commotion backstage, you and Chris Brown.
Have a whole lot of paper. That's all it is. Have a whole lot of paper.
You mean a whole lot of cheese between?
A whole lot of paper, a whole lot of haters, man.
After this, the public would now fully be aware that Chris Brown and Quavo did not like each other. After this, the beef would die out for a couple of years, but fast forward to October 2020, Karuchi appeared in court seeking to extend her restraining order on Chris Brown to make it permanent. The next year, on July 16th, 2021, Chris Brown would call out Quavo to a basketball game during a post-game press conference after a Crew League celebrity tournament. Chris Brown took to his IG story to call out Quavo and Jack Harlow, saying, "They knew who not to ask on that 2-on-2 basketball. I would have cooked Quavo and Jack on my soul. Guess they wanted a smoke-free zone." Quavo would respond on his IG story, accepting Chris Brown's challenge, saying, "Chris Brown ain't cooking nan. Call next." Chris Brown then responded on his IG saying, "Ain't no next, I'm on now, set it up." Chris Brown continued saying, "You know this worked different. Me and Austin McBroom versus the little boys." After that, everything went.
I ain't gonna hold you guys. This is one of the battles that you gotta watch closely, because this shit can get real. I ain't gonna hold you. These is two knuckleheads, you two hell of a sons we dealing with, bro. Clearly, Chris Brown, this boy wear his heart on his sleeve for this Karuchi woman, and Migos, for as long as I knew them, they was always in something. I remember they had got into a scuffle with who was that? Was it Charlemagne, or was it somebody was asking them an interview question and they ain't feel it. They wasn't feeling the interview, and they was fitting to set it off right then and there. But these guys, these two, gotta watch these two.
Quiet, but in 2024 is where this beef would reignite fully. On January 22nd, 2024, a video would surface of Chris Brown and Quavo sitting next to each other while attending the Rude fashion show at Paris Fashion Week. Chris Brown would address why he sat next to Quavo and basically says he still doesn't like Quavo when he took to IG to write, "Can't pick who you sit by, fuck all that gross shit. Not finna fumble my bag for little dudes." A couple of months later, on April 11th, 2024, Chris Brown dropped the deluxe edition to his album 1111, and on the track Freak, he dissed Quavo, saying that Quavo is with his old girls.
Okay, now my old bitches ain't gonna make a sequel. Sipping in 1942 cause I don't do no Quavo.
He also references Migos' hit song Bad and Bougie, and directly name drops Migos.
Freak. She like Casamigos, not the Migos. I don't fuck with bougie bitches, man, that shit is all hot.
Quavo got wind of this, so that same day, Quavo dropped a track called Tender, and on this track, he took shots at Chris Brown. On the hook, Quavo says that Chris Brown did Karuchi wrong and references the allegations of Chris Brown allegedly hitting her.
Did a bitch wrong and that a bitch gone, she post with a thug. Caught a phone, she won't come home, don't beat her up.
On the second verse, Quavo addresses Chris Brown, asking what his issue is, and if this beef is all over Karuchi.
Tell me, little bro, what your issue is over that. You said it is bigger than that, but no, that it's not. It cause I be digging in that. It got them hot.
And I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, "Oh, that shit trash." Bro, what he's saying is facts, though. What he's saying is facts, and it's kind of catchy. Listen to that Quavo shit a couple of times, boy. That shit bump in the club, bro. Or some New York shit. That shit bump in the club, yo. Or some, especially when you're not a sucker and you're not out here putting your life on the line for females. You can relate. I could relate to that Quavo shit. Yes, I could.
He then says that Chris's girl was on his neck.
I'm giving respect, but I know you're not. You're on my neck. You're at the spot.
9 days later, on April 20th, 2024, Chris Brown dropped a full-on diss track on Quavo called Weakest Link. The cover to the song is Quavo eating a hot dog. Chris Brown says that Quavo shouldn't be talking like a thug.
Quavo talking like he a thug, nigga, you a bitch with dread. Can't wait to see the day that you back up all of that shit you said.
Chris Brown then responds to the accusations of him assaulting Karuchi by exposing when Quavo allegedly assaulted Sweetie in an elevator in 2020.
I put Amigo on a ventilator. Stop talking about beating girls. You was beating on the elevator, we seen the taste that's devastating.
Chris Brown got real disrespectful when he mentioned Migos member Takeoff, giving him an RIP, but saying that everyone wished it was Quavo that died instead.
RIP Takeoff, he the only real one that got true respect. Crazy how when he died, everybody really wished it was you instead.
Quavo, of course, got wind of this, so 2 days later, on April 22nd, 2024, Quavo dropped his response diss track on Chris Brown called Over and the cover art is him choking Chris Brown. This track featured an unreleased verse from Takeoff, who Chris Brown mentioned in his diss track. Quavo starts off the track by mentioning the root of this beef, which is Karuchi. Quavo then refers to Chris Brown as a singer turned a junkie and says that Breezy ain't been in the trenches.
Why they got Quavo out here going back and forth with a singer that turned to a junkie? Never got light skin versus brown skin. Finna divide the country.
Quavo then calls Chris Brown a crackhead Michael Jackson because Breezy does receive a lot of comparisons to Michael.
Crackhead Michael Jackson, you better beat it, nigga.
Chris Brown would take to his IG to react to Quavo's diss track saying, Google raps, that shit is poo. Damn, and I was excited. That shit don't even need a response. Takeoff rap better. After that, the beef went quiet and it is unclear whether Chris Brown will respond or not. But according to Breezy, that diss track doesn't need a response. So who do you think won the battle? Quavo or Chris Brown?
Chris Brown. Chris Brown lyrically, Quavo can't match to Chris Brown. But like, guys, let's get into the lyrics. You know what I mean? And who else better to break down the lyrics than my guy? What's the dirt? You know what I mean? So let's go and let's react to his reaction on how he broke down the entire beat diss songs, both of them, guys. So let's hear it for ourselves.
Working with artists like Chris Brown. So to at terms, and I even found a tweet from 2012 before the Migos really popped off, where Quavo appeared to be a big fan. If I ever met Chris Brown, boy oh boy, no diddy. However, Quavo definitely speaked this into existence, as after the Migos got the Drake feature on Versace, they found themselves in the spotlight and soon started working with artists like Chris Brown. So the first one was Moses with French Montana. Then we got Just for Tonight. Then Chris Brown invited the Migos on his tour.
That was a crazy experience, and once again, it was a blessing. Shout out to Chris Brown and their whole team.
Then they did Whippin', which was just Chris Brown and Quavo. They're racing Lambos together.
This is why I don't respect Chris Brown as the winner, you know what I mean? Because remember, we in a society now where we promote the pedophiles, we promote the rats and the snitches. So to promote, and how can somebody win when you fighting over your emotions and the dude did not start with you? The dude did not start with you. The dude wasn't thinking about you. You just popped it off with a dope song because you in your feelings and you won. Like, people claiming him to be a winner. It is no winner in this situation. I mean, now, of course, if we're in this worldly state of mind, then you could pick and choose a winner. But when you remove the worldly state of mind, ain't no winner in this. I'm not fitting to celebrate no man that because he could write better bars and lines, and he's more creative than the person he wants to start trouble with because that person took his girl and the girl wasn't even with him. That's not celebratory right there in my book, in my opinion. It's a bad look for the culture of the hip hop culture.
Celebrating birthdays. You catch my drift. Like, I don't think they were just industry friends. I believe they were real friends at one point, but just like a lot of beefs, they start beefing over pussy. So Chris Brown and Karuchi were pretty much that couple that constantly breaks up, having the most drama-packed breakups, only to end up getting back together.
Me and her have a real connection.
I'm single too. He said me and her have a real connection. Let's hear what she got to say about y'all real connection.
How do you feel like knowing that you're being dragged into a musical feud between these two?
I don't feel. It is what it is. I'm living my life.
Have you heard
Working, paying my bills, taking time for myself, and that's all that matters. Whatever else is going on, I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Have you heard the music yet?
Happy and peaceful life. That's all I want.
All right. Have you heard the music yet? You haven't heard it?
No.
Are you curious? Can I pull it up for you?
I just don't want any parts. I just want peace and happiness. And I want to work and thrive.
I tell you, man, Karuchi got the coochie.
Fuck that bitch. I guarantee every one of us knows at least one couple who is like this. If you go back with her, man, I'm going to support you, man, of course. But like, I just don't think it's a good idea. Now, I'm not a Hollywood gossip channel, and I'm not going to dig into all the particulars of the dumpster fire that was this relationship. Just know that Chris Brown was on and off with this woman for like 5 years and was very much in love. However, the day would come where they would finally part ways. And after that happened, Chris Brown would beef with anyone who went anywhere near this woman.
Fight me because I like this girl picture.
And on the same day I like Karuchi's pics, I like J-Lo pics, I like Rihanna pics.
Told him, I said, look, you have a problem with me because I took a picture with her? Meet me somewhere in the desert.
So Chris Brown pretty much...
That man finna make a diss song for everybody. Everybody finna get it, fuck around with Chris Brown. Everybody tweeting this woman, texting this woman finna get it, messing around with Chris Brown, bro. That is not cool, yo. When did that be cool? When did that come in style?
Beef with anyone who even liked this girl's pictures, and at one point he was even supposed to box Soulja Boy, to which even Mike Tyson was involved.
I'm training Chris. He chose me as his trainer to take on Soulja Boy.
And what's funny is I met Mike Tyson at a meet and greet when all this was going on, and I was allowed to ask him one question, and that's what I asked him. I was like, yo, Mike, what's going on with this Chris Brown Soulja Boy fight, bro? He was like, not happening. I was like, why not? He's like, Chris Brown bitched out, wouldn't sign the contract. I'm like, really? He's like, Soulja Boy was ready. Soulja was ready. I was like, really? It was fucking amazing. And just shortly after, Quavo pulls a really slimy move as he is spotted with Karuchi on multiple occasions.
Ooh. What's up, girl?
And it was around that exact same time where she hit Chris Brown with the restraining order.
Well, Karuchi managed to get a 5-year restraining order against Chris Brown.
And look, women can make us do crazy ass shit when we're in love, no doubt. But in this case, I do believe that the restraining order was probably warranted. And it wouldn't be long after, at the BET Hip Hop Awards, Chris Brown and the Migos got into a little scuffle.
TMZ has obtained new footage of the celebs' camp scuffling at the BET Awards after party.
And after that scuffle, some text messages from Chris Brown and Offset would surface where he challenges them all to a fight. I got a boxing ring, no cameras, or we can just put the gloves on and box right in front of my house. This is Offset. This about a female, correct? This about homies betraying homies and disrespect. You know what it is. You can take the fade for your partner. I'll see you when I see you, singer.
How do celebrities drop weight so fast?
Chris Brown gonna get his
Stop
ass
scrolling
whipped
for a
out here,
second.
boy. Chris Brown gonna get his ass whipped out here, man. You matter of time, he gonna get his ass whipped, y'all.
And that conversation goes on for quite some time, but really it's just Chris Brown the whole time begging these guys to pull up. However, Karuchi and Quavo didn't seem to last very long, likely just a quick fling, as Quavo would go on to date Sweetie and Karuchi would date Victor Cruz. Now, things would go quiet for about a year until Chris Brown posted this funny meme of 21 Savage.
Hop out the 4-door with the 440 was 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And for those that don't get it, the meme is about, 21 Savage and getting exposed for being from the UK. And Offset was not a fan of Chris posting this meme and made the comment, "Memes ain't funny, lame." To which Chris responded, "Fuck you, little boy. If you a real man, fight me. Oh, and another thing, suck my dick." To which Offset would respond, "Cokehead don't want no smoke. Only people you go toe-to-toe with is women. Oh, and by the way, I'ma smack the shit out of you when I see you." But Chris Brown pretty much called his bluff and then just dropped his address and told him to pull up. I'll be home at 4. No op shit, cameras, police, none of that shit. I'm just gonna beat you the fuck up. And then he dropped his address. Chris Brown.
Chris, bro, yo, you gotta stay away from that cocaine, my brother. You gotta stay away from that cocaine, man. My man Pop Smoke lost his life because they got wits of his addy, man. And you just gonna drop your addy like that, bro? On these platforms, man? What's wrong with you, man?
Brown's personality doesn't match his music a lot of times. Like he's not as soft as what people think. And just 1 year later, Quavo would win a 2-on-2 tournament with Jack Harlow, to which Chris Brown took to Instagram to challenge him. They knew who not to ask for on that 2-on-2 basketball. I would have cooked Quavo and Jack on my soul. Guess they wanted to smoke free zone. And it wasn't long after that he would call out Quavo again.
Yeah, he was scared. Quavo.
Who's scared?
Quavo, bring your out of here again. I said it twice.
Second time.
Second time.
And then a year goes by where the two were seated next to each other at a fashion show by no choice of their own, to which Chris Brown wrote, "Can't pick who you sit with. Fuck all that gross shit. I'm not trying to fumble my bag for little dudes." So when it comes to that fashion week shit, like I guarantee it took everything in Chris Brown not to put hands on Quavo. And just a few months later, we would get to hear the first shot on wax, where Chris Brown would send some not so subliminal shots at Quavo on his track titled Freak.
Okay, now fucking my old bitches ain't gonna make a sequel. Sicker than 1942, cause I don't do no Quavo.
In the first line, Chris alludes to Quavo's relationship with his ex Karuchi.
That was hard. That was hard right there, yo. I don't do no Quavo. Jose Quavo. Wow, that was dope.
And in the second line, he uses the cheap tequila Jose Cuervo, alluding to how he's sipping 1942, a much more expensive liquor. This is both a play on Quavo's actual name and the fact that Quavo is beneath him in terms of star power.
Freak bitch, she like Casamigos, not the Migos. I don't fuck with bougie bitches, man, that shit is all hot.
Chris then takes it a step further by name-dropping the Migos as a group, likely alluding to the smoke that he had with Offset shortly before. Now, there is a few lines in this track where he's referencing Sweetie that people missed.
She said we should bring a friend and I ain't think about it twice.
Chris Brown states that she wants to bring a friend, alluding to one of Sweetie's biggest records, Best Friend.
That's my best friend.
Man, bro, I love the way this boy don't miss nothing. Don't shit get past this boy, man. Salute to the white bread, man. This boy hip-hopping in a motherfucker, man.
Wants to bring a friend, alluding to one of Sweetie's biggest records, Best Friend.
That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch.
He then references Birkin bags, which is something that Sweetie publicly got backlash for.
She just want a couple Birkins and some CC belts. I'm just trying to set her up so she don't need no help.
If you're not getting you a Birkin, if you're not paying for your bills, then throw that to the streets, okay?
Oh, I remember that simp video right there with Quavo standing in the background while they promoting that bullshit, while they promoting this simp culture. I remember this video right here, yo. Good call out, Chris. Woo, now that's creative. That's creative, bro. That's creative, Chris. Good job.
Birkins and some CC belts. I'm just trying to set her up so she don't need no help.
If you're not getting you a Birkin, if you're not paying for your bills, then throw that to the streets, okay?
So Chris Brown is basically saying that he's trying to put Sweetie in the position to where she can get her own Birkin bags and not have to depend on a man, like she stated in that clip.
If you don't like to listen, baby, you gon' cheat yourself. Man, I had to eat the pussy. Ain't gonna eat itself.
He then alludes to how Sweetie had cheated on Quavo, which was an ongoing narrative within the media and a rumor that Quavo seemingly admitted to himself.
Bitch, fuck my dog behind my back, but I ain't stressed.
Now, I ain't gonna hold y'all, because I know y'all do what y'all do, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Eating coochie is one of the most submissive things you as a man could do, bro. If you can eat coochie, then you can submit to God. That's all I'm gonna say.
Not at all.
And I mean, she probably cheated on him with more than one guy. I believe she was likely a a repeated offender. And with all that said, Quavo wasted zero time and dropped the track the very next day called Tender.
You did a bitch wrong and now the bitch gone. She post with a thug. Caught a bitch phone, she won't come home. Don't beat her up.
In the first line, Quavo claims that
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo, this song right there got listen to what he just said right there, y'all. Know what I mean? Chris Brown shit hard. Pause. No Diddy. His shit real. Know what I mean? But listen to this nigga. This shit is catchy just cause I was downtown. They was bumping this shit. They're bumping this shit loud, bro. This shit fire though. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
track the very next day called Tender.
You did a bitch wrong and now the bitch gone. She post with a thug. Caught a bitch phone, she won't come home. Don't beat her up.
In the first line, Quavo claims that Chris did Karuchi wrong, alluding to how Chris Brown got a girl pregnant while he was with Karuchi. He then references Chris Brown's controlling and obsessive ways by stating that he's been calling her phone and not to beat her up. I could picture Chris Brown just like all coked up, like
That's a
blowing
fact,
up this chick's
bro.
phone.
That's fucked up though, yo. Nigga. That's fucked. That was a good one though. On a low, it's not better than Chris Brown's song. I'm not saying that, so don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that, but y'all just knocking it. Y'all not giving this shit. Y'all not giving this shit an air. It's not trash. It's not T-Rash. Know what I mean? Y'all gotta find y'all hobby, yo. Find y'all hobby. What it is you do dope.
In the last line, Quavo claims that it has to be the drugs, feeding into the narrative that Chris Brown has some addiction issues.
Don't shoot up the party. Don't shoot. Yo, look, ho, she gnarly.
Quavo starts out his verse by alluding to Chris Brown's obsession over Karuchi, where it was alleged that he was following her around to different clubs, and essentially references Chris Brown's alleged coke addiction and states that he literally got bent out of shape over a full-blown thought.
How much do you spend every month on your phone bill?
Yo, now I need y'all to go back and listen to this joint. Y'all need y'all to go back and listen to this joint. Listen to both of them. This is good for hip hop, guys. It's good for hip hop. It is no right or wrong. It's about understanding what you're dealing with, what you're listening to.
They speak this in and essentially stalking her.
Pussy dripping like water. Pussy gon' cause violence. Rich nigga gon' spoil them. You tender niggas a problem.
More the same here. Quavo states that the pussy's gonna cause violence, which is another reference to how crazy Chris behaved over this one girl.
When I fuck on that little bitty bitch, yeah, she do great. When you fuck on that little bitty hoe, yeah, she lose weight.
Quavo continues with the disrespect, stating that when he fucked Karuchi, her life only seemed to get better, but when she's with Chris Brown, her life is in turmoil, nothing but stress, and she physically loses weight.
Wiping your nose with the tissue, not wiping no snot. Tell me, little bro, what your issue is over that.
Again, Quavo references Chris Brown's alleged coke addiction and states that he literally got bent out of shape over a full-blown thought.
You said it is bigger than that, it's big, but no, that it's not.
And Chris Brown is right here. I mean, like, it is bigger than that. Like, your boy is not supposed to fuck your girl that you're with for 5 years. Like, that's just a no-brainer. And now we're completely caught up as just a week later, Chris Brown would shock a lot of people with an absolutely disrespectful diss track, Weakest Link. And that brings me to today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Watching Netflix without a VPN is to Chris Brown. Chris then dives into a hook playing on the phone call we previously heard, where Quavo says he doesn't want any smoke.
Who wants smoke with me? Who wants smoke with me?
And the hook is also an ode to Nardo Wick's track, Who Wants Smoke?
Who wants smoke with me? Nigga, who wants smoke with me?
Chris starts out the verse by mentioning his gang affiliation with the Pyrus, inserting that he's not as soft as what people think.
Okay, let's get down to the facts. Pussy, I'm dripping red. Don't let this R&B shit fool you niggas, get ripped to shreds.
I definitely acknowledge Chris Brown as a Pyru now.
You don't gotta be born and raised in.
That's cause y'all niggas is all greasing this nigga pockets, yo. Y'all niggas is all extorting this man, bro. This young man, bro. That's the game y'all play. I don't know if y'all watched the Drake video that I did, but that flying in joint. Remember when it got to the part where the guy was talking about flying in? And I told y'all when you touch down in certain cities, that's really on it with these colors, with these crayons games. You know what I mean? When you touch down in certain cities, you got to check in. And check in mean you got to grease these little no skills having, no creativity having niggas, but they just intimidating, and they got all the little dirty niggas on their side. You know what I mean? Red pill shit, guys.
LA to be from an LA gang.
He a blood. He been a blood for like 13 years, 14 years.
I mean, the guy's been throwing up gang signs and screaming out Pyru for over a decade, so he probably is indeed a Pyru.
Quavo talking like he a thug, nigga, you a bitch with dread. Can't wait to see the day that you back up all of that shit you said.
Again, pretty self-explanatory. A lot of these disses are very surface level, not much depth in terms of multiple meanings.
What's all that bullshit you talking? You ain't no huncho, nigga. You the weakest link out of your clique. Let's keep it a hundo, nigga.
So as everyone knows,
that was strong. And for the most part with Chris Drake, it's the energy. His energy is electrifying, boy. This nigga had Dwayne Johnson type electrification in this studio right here when he laid this down. That's where he getting y'all with it. He getting y'all with his energy.
Quavo also goes by Honcho, which is defined as a boss or a leader. And Chris claims that Quavo does not meet the criteria for this nickname and claims that he was the weakest member out of the Migos.
You fuck my ex-ho, that's cool. I don't give no fuck, little nigga. Cause I fucked your ex when you was still with a bitch. I'm up, little nigga.
Chris then acknowledges that Quavo slept with Karuchi, but goes completely hit him up, claiming that he smashed Quavo's ex, Sweetie, while they were still together. Fucking ruthless, bro.
They say revenge is sweet. Now think about that shit. Don't let that line go over your head. I might just sing about that shit.
In the first line, Chris makes it absolutely clear that he is talking about.
Damn, that was nasty too, because he's using all the shit that you can say about him. That make the best battle rhymes. When you can use the shit that a nigga gonna probably say about you to make more sense than what he gonna say about you, it's over. It's zip him up.
About Sweetie with the line "Revenge is sweet." He then goes on to tell Quavo that he might just sing about it, meaning that he will take the situation with Sweetie and turn it into a hit record that Quavo would have to hear everywhere he goes. And he's 100% correct. Fucking a dude's girl is the best revenge. Black eyes heal, broken nose heal. Look at my shit. Broken a bunch of times, but it heals. Kind of.
I had a feeling about that dick.
Don't try to listen to that boy. Don't try to listen to that fool. That is not the best revenge, bro. Breaking up with a toxic bitch and then stumbling into your purpose, your real purpose in life, is the best revenge, bro. You get learning, you get money, you get happiness. That shit is a package deal. You know how y'all niggas be engaging with these package deal women? Bro, leave one of these toxic women and go. Don't y'all niggas listen to this fool, bro. Don't listen to this fool, bro. He good on his lyric shit. He good on his music shit. Remember, people good for what they good for. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't be listening to advice. Relationship advice.
There's something sweet about that shit. I got some tea about that bitch, but I ain't gonna speak about that shit.
Chris claims that he had Sweetie going crazy and alludes to her telling him some secrets about Quavo that he's not going to speak of. I mean, if you had dirt on him, you might as well have just dropped it. You're already being extremely disrespectful.
Stop talking about being.
Yo, I gotta play that back. Cause I tell y'all better stop pillow talking with these women, bro. Y'all gotta stop pillow talking with these females.
He's 100% correct. Fucking a dude's girl is the best revenge.
No.
Black eyes heal, broken nose heal. Look at my shit.
You finna get another
Broken
one.
a bunch of times, but it heals.
That's not good.
Kind of.
I had a feeling about that dick. There's something sweet about that shit. I got some tea about that bitch, but I ain't gonna speak about that shit.
Chris claims that he had Sweetie going crazy and alludes to her telling him some secrets about Quavo that he's not going to speak of. I mean, if you had dirt on him, you might as well have just dropped it. You're already being extremely disrespectful.
Stop talking about beating girls. You was beating bitches on the elevator. We seen the taste. That's devastating.
He then references Quavo's very public elevator incident with Sweetie, which was well documented on camera.
The fight continues inside the elevator with Quavo dragging her inside, Sweetie taking a spill and seemingly being injured while
Oh my God. You hear how the mainstream media put the shit? Oh my, you see how they, oh my God. I didn't see no dragon. I didn't see none of that shit. She just was narrating commentary. Oh man, I wouldn't pay her to be no commentary to my match because she called it all wrong, B. All wrong. Wow.
The Migos rapper does nothing to help her.
He then alludes to Quavo falling off as his music hasn't really performed as well since the loss of Takeoff, and brings up the Fashion Week incident, saying he was extremely pissed off.
You doing bad, you a bitch and your music trash. Fashion Week, they set me next to your lame ass. I was truly mad.
He then continues to claim that it took everything in him not to beat the fuck out of Quavo.
All I kept thinking about was breaking your face, but I gave you a pass. You lucky I ain't wanna fuck the money up, boy, I would've broke you in half.
Chris then rebuttals Quavo's previous line about him being a cokehead and claims that Quavo's last album was so shitty that it was used as a weed tray.
Quit talk about drugs, you the only pack that I've been smoking on. Your last album was a weed tray, just some bullshit that we roll up on.
Chris then has an even more disrespectful line than the Sweetie shit, saying that when Takeoff died, everyone wished it was Quavo instead.
R.I.P. Takeoff, he the only real one that got true respect. Crazy how when he died, everybody really wished it was you instead.
I mean, this dude, Chris Brown, clearly just gives zero fucks. Zero.
My mental state ain't never stable. I know this shit gon' sting, nigga. I'll run your ass through the ringer.
I told you, hold on. He spoke that Lex line like a true single mother, yo. And I told y'all about these people that know they got mental illness problems and they walk around here with it. That's not safe for us. It's not safe for us. A lot of people do that. A lot of people have that. And look, he have money. You see where the money, you can't use money to fix the life problems. That's a life problem for you, Chris. You got to go fix that shit, bro. You gonna blow that bag. Guarantee you. Remember this video. Mark this video down. Put this in your favorites. He gonna blow that whole bag. He gonna blow that whole bag. Because this is what happens when you so young and you get the money before you actually go through the experiences that get you the mindset. So it's a bunch of these artists out here, they got the money, but they don't got the mindset like us. You see, we got the mindset because we had to go through life experiences. We don't got the money. We may not have their money, but we got the mindset. Meaning, once we get that money, we ain't gonna blow it like them. These artists, these celebrities, they blow that bag and they fuck because they can't use money to throw at life problems. Money are for money issues. Money, you can't use money for life problems. Clearly, Chris got a life problem. He got to get that fixed. He got to go sit on somebody's couch and get that fixed. He spoke that like a true single mother. I'ma read it. My mental state ain't never stable. So you know this. Chris, you know your mental state ain't never stable. I know this shit gonna sting, nigga. No, you got to go fix that, sir.
Nigga, you just got body by singing, nigga.
So again, very surface level shit. Not that hard to understand. But with that said, let's move on to Quavo's diss. So right off rip, we got to give Quavo a few points here. A lot of people were counting him out in this one, and he responded within 48 hours with the track titled Over Hoes and Bitches.
Pussy nigga, pull up, crash, shout about your bae. Boy, you pussy. Little bitch, come dance, battle with my Drake.
Quavo immediately matched the same energy, asking Chris to pull up, and alludes to how he's crashing out over another woman. He then has a pretty good line asking Chris to come dance with his Drake, which is both a gun reference and a reference to Chris Brown and Drake's music video for No Guidance. I found this pretty clever. I mean, I'm a battle rap guy, so I appreciate a good gun bar.
You been fucked your bag up when you punch Rhea in the face. Talking about Fashion Week, you sparing who? Come punch me in my face.
Again, Quavo references a very predictable angle with the Rihanna incident. Anyone who beefs with Chris Brown will likely mention this, as even today it's still relevant, and it's something.
And that shit gonna get played out after a while. Like, you're not gonna be able to keep reaching for that. That's like the same shit. That's kind of what Kendrick just did too to Drake. Like, he used what everybody else said and just mixed it in and put it in his own words. but it was already said.
That he will never get away from.
It ain't nothing but a fade. You know you lost to Frank.
It's all public knowledge, but let's be real. Like beating up women and gay dudes, that's not earning you any stripes out here.
Niggas ran in your house, tied up your aunt cause you ain't pay.
This line is in reference to the 2015 robbery of Chris Brown's home, where his aunt was tied up, locked in a closet, and held at gunpoint. Quavo.
I'm just saying, Quavo saying real shit, y'all. Quavo saying real shit. You know what I mean? He ain't say it as fancy as Chris. You know what I mean? But he's saying real shit.
Quavo is insinuating that the robbery was retaliation for Chris not paying a debt.
This bullet got your name. Don't ever bring up Take, pussy.
Quavo then warns Chris Brown to leave Takeoff's name out of his mouth. And sadly, it seems like this beef is going beyond music at this point. I really hope nothing happens between these two camps, but a lot has been said at this point. Quavo then strategically selects a hook from Takeoff that couldn't be more perfect, making it seem like Takeoff is very much joining in on the diss.
I call your hoe for pussy. Dropping the diamond pillow, talking to these bitches and hoes. Pussy.
And rest in peace to Takeoff. Like, such a dope artist. He pretty much made this track with the hook.
You tried to beat up Tiana, but Usher wouldn't let you do it.
Quavo points out another incident.
Damn, yo. Damn, he right about this. I remember I reported on this right here. This was weird. This was a weird one. Like, this was a weird one.
Involving a woman where Chris Brown flipped out on Tiana Taylor at a birthday party, to which Usher intervened and stopped it. This would eventually carry on out into the parking lot, where Usher ended up with a bloody nose. So again, as the title suggests, Chris Brown only seems to get bent out of shape over women.
The cocaine got him, your honor. Bipolar disorder, no wonder.
Quavo then alludes to Chris Brown's court case from the Rihanna incident, where he was ordered to go to rehab for 90 days due to addiction issues. And I've touched on this before. I told you guys that I'm bipolar, so I took this shit as a personal attack.
Yo, I'm with it. That's the smartest comment. That's the comment of the night, B. That is the comment of the mother-loving night, yo.
Will you please stop balling up and folding up and so we can't even figure out what it is? It's going to be $1 just laid out in there. It's all right. It won't hurt our feelings. We had to go to Family Dollar and buy iron. To iron out all the dollars because we can't even tell what they are. I work in the trustee ministry and we're trying to go to Golden Corral too. By the time we iron out all the dollars, everything is closed. And we don't even cook on Sunday no more. So just lay it in the plate. It's still going to be $1. Amen? Come on, y'all. Let's just get along. Come on. Help us out. Because we ushers. We ushers. Amen? We're here to serve you. And no.
What did he say fuck me for?
It was the greatest, nigga, you fumble. Going outside, I'm watching you crumble.
So based on the tweet that I showed from Quavo earlier, it's clear that he once held Chris Brown in a very high regard, but due to all the scandals and alleged drug use, he sees him as someone who's now fallen off.
You ain't been in the trenches. We step in the yard, you know how that ended.
Quavo alludes to Chris Brown not being from the streets and references the 2007 movie Stomp the Yard, where Chris Brown's character is killed very early on in the film.
Won't smoke with me? OHB mean fighting over hoes and bitches?
So Chris Brown formerly had a rap group known as OHB, which stands for Original Hood Bosses, and Quavo cleverly flips the acronym, naming it Over Hoes and Bitches, which is honestly a really dope name flip given the fact that this is the name of the track. And he's referencing several incidents where Chris had issues with women.
Pussy, every time you see me, keep that energy,
So more the same here. No explanation needed for these bars. Now, when it comes to this beef, I would agree that Quavo definitely did his thing, as this track is super catchy and likely has already found its way into the rotation at nightclubs, which is kind of interesting because Chris did.
It's banging over here in New York, bro. This record is banging in New York. The Chris Brown joint is, they got it in, they be playing it in the cars. You know what I mean? It ain't in the clubs yet though, but this record is in the clubs, bro. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't think the way you think.
It threatened to turn a diss track into a song, and Quavo kind of flipped this on him and made a banger himself. It's just the energy of Chris Brown's track, along with his very personal approach, that edges him the first round. At the end of the day, Chris offered up new information that could sway.
No, ain't no winner, man. Y'all hip hop niggas, man. Y'all be getting bamboozled, bro.
Public opinion regarding Quavo, and Quavo more or less regurgitated public information that anyone could find on the internet. And I got to be honest with you guys, man. Like, I'm trying to give you guys what you want, but this breakdown for me just was not that enjoyable. It's just very surface level. Like, what you hear is what you get. Like, there's not a whole lot of depth to these diss tracks. The one that I'm really waiting on at this point is Kendrick Lamar. That's the one I'm rubbing my hands for, waiting for that to happen.
And that one was a good one. You broke that one down very, very good. For y'all that want to see his breakdown on the Kendrick, you know what I mean? You can go to his channel. That is What's the Dirt? Or you can go to the video we dropped over here and reacted to earlier, where we throw our reaction to his video too. So, guys, man, that brings us to the end of tonight's live show. You know what I mean? Facts, Salam. Facts, Salam. But we've entered this is a weird era right now. We're in a weird era in hip hop. You know what I mean? Niggas got ghostwriters. Niggas is you don't know what the fuck. You know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck to believe. You know what I mean? Niggas got this AI shit. You know what I mean? So don't be fooled, guys. Believe everything with a little grain of salt. Take it with a little grain of salt, guys. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe. For those of y'all watching on the playback, you know what I mean? Please don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. Y'all wrap up, strap up, drink responsibly. Do not play with your vibe. Good vibes only. James Hall, good vibes only. You know what? I give some shout outs to everybody that attended tonight, yo. Let me just throw some music on and I'll just go through and get some shout outs real quick. Slime, what's going on, Slime? James, I'm a spiritual soul. 369, salute. Yen, salute. XL Pro, Miss Lolita, how you doing, Miss? Zone, 412 Vibe. What's going on, my guy? ANO, what's going on? Toxic Ring Scandals, what's up? Street King, what's going on? Fly Valley. Paul Myers, what's going on, my guy? CeeLo, salute. All right, guys, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. I'll see y'all later.